the judges are corrupt.
Better.
The judges are advocates for the banks. They're required by law to be advocates for the banks. And I'm not going to go into this, but if you study the law, they absolutely must be advocates for the bank. They know it. The lawyers know it. You don't know it.
It's a part of their public policy.
It's exactly what it is. So, as we get better at this, we learn more and we have to find new things. But the reason that it takes so long is simply I don't know what the next lie is. And if we don't rebut that lie, then it stands as the truth in court. The court has nothing to do with truth. Nothing. Doesn't even like truth. If you work with criminal defense attorneys, the first thing you find out, first rule of being a criminal defense attorney, God, don't bring me in anybody that's innocent. If I got somebody that's guilty, I know he's going to have an alibi, he's going to have things set up. It's easy to get him off. But an innocent person that's being attacked by the state, he's got no alibi, he didn't plan anything out, he's just a victim. Criminal defense attorneys are scared to death to have a client come in that's innocent. Because he's got a 10 times more likelihood of being convicted than a guilty person. This is American jurisprudence. It's always that way. The government's only building two things right now. You know what they are?
Prisons.
And courthouses. That's all the government's building, and they're putting billions of dollars in building prisons and courthouses. It's got two jobs.
Where's the money in it? There must be money in that.
Oh, don't even ask.
Bond, you don't want to go there.
It's a bond.
Because I'll tell you.
Yeah. I admit I got a hood on my head, but come on, help me take it. Where's the money in a prison?
It's all based on prisoners. The U.S. economy is not based on gold, it's based on prisoners.
What?
Has been
bonds
since
are the
1956.
Every prison, and I can attest to this because I looked them up when John was in jail. Every prisoner's case number, you can look it up, and it's part of Fidelity Select Computer Fund or Fidelity Select Electronics Fund. Which one was yours?
Fidelity Mutual Electronics.
Yeah,
something
Fidelity
like that.
Select Electronics Fund. His case number for his particular case, his criminal
People
case,
bid on the
was
cases.
in the was found in Fidelity Select Electronics Fund. He gave me a list of everybody that he was in there with, his case number. I looked them all up. I sent them all to you. You're in the computer fund. You're in this. My girlfriend's custody case was found in Fidelity Annuity Fund. Her child custody case. Why are these people's these people in jail's case numbers attached to a fund?
They're commodities.
Right. The ultra rich get rich by bidding on court cases and prisons and then selling them.
Bid bonds.
They're gambling on us.
It's America.
Gambling.
It's America.
Well, isn't this true that for every day a person is in jail, our government pays that jail about $10,000 for that person's keep? It only costs what? 38 cents to feed you,
Yes.
and however much to clothe you and keep a roof over your head. So that difference it has a huge value to whoever buys the bid bond for that prisoner.
I was put in jail for one thing and one thing only. Because my attorneys put that document in a court case explaining that. The judge dismissed the case. The prosecutor put the dismissal of the case with those documents, sealed them, and put me in jail for filing a false or forged document in a public office. Court's not a public office. The first person in the history of the United States ever jailed for any exculpatory evidence in a court case. And what did you just find out recently? You just found out recently that everybody in the upper echelon with Janet Brewer are lobbyists for the private prison system.
Yep.
When I put that document in, it opened the doors to all kinds of shit that they didn't want to get open. Now Arpaio is having to answer where $80 million is. Okay, Arpaio invests in prisoners. That's what he invests in. That's how you get rich in America. Walmart. You all know what Walmart is? No, you fucking don't.
I do. It's the largest buyer of bid bonds.
Walmart buys 80% of the prisoners in the United States. Then they sell them to China. So then China, instead of paying Walmart, sends products over. So Walmart doesn't have to pay taxes on the products. That's why Walmart sells almost exclusively Chinese products. And so they don't get taxed on it because it's an exchange over the bid bond for prisoners. So Walmart doesn't pay taxes on anything. That's why Walmart's so wealthy. So in a case of $10 million, say the prisoner's worth $10 million, Walmart buys that prisoner for $2.25 million or $2.5 million. It's about, really it's only about 17%, but let's just say 20%. So they pay $2 million for that $10 million prisoner. Then they sell it to China at 40%. So China pays them $4 million. Then our government, since China checked over a certain amount of years to pay China back for that $10 million, that's what's called the national debt. That's why they'll never say what the national debt is. That's economy in the United States. That is the only economy in the United States. That's why I say the government has only two jobs: kill the innocent and imprison the poor. The innocent do not commit crimes, so they're useless to the government, so kill them off. And the poor commit a lot of crimes, and we make money off the prisoners. That's the existence of America in its totality. In its totality. There is nothing else here. That's why this is not about taking your house. If you lose your house, you lose your property rights. So, how do we defunct the Constitution without defuncting it legally? We do it voluntarily. Here's the end game. And all these people use the term end game and they know nothing about what the fuck they're talking about. Here's the end game. You don't have the right to own property. So you have to go rent an apartment. Or you have to go rent a house. And in that contract to rent the house, it says, this is a gun-free zone. If you want to rent this house, you will not have any weapons on this land. You will make sure that you pay your taxes before time. You will make sure your children have Social Security numbers. You will make sure your children are immunized so that they go stupid when they get older. You will do this, that, and the other thing. So did you voluntarily relinquish all your rights?
Yeah. Yep.
Did they just defunct the Constitution?
Yep.
This is fucking America. You got it? It is this simple, guys. I've been doing this for 36 fucking years. I grew up in this. I understand it. You don't.
What also happens is if you have a case, say it's a murder case, you're looking at what, 20 to life possibly for a murder case. You figure out the math of $10,000 per day for every day that prisoner's going to be in jail, incarcerated. That case has a value of, I don't know how many millions, maybe it's billions of dollars. Therefore, they have a bid bond that somebody bids on to buy because that prisoner's worth all this money. Now, if that prisoner ends up free, the person that bought that bid bond is going to be pretty pissed off because they didn't make any money on their investment. Are they going to want to keep buying if people keep getting let free?
And who is the guys that invest in all the prisoners' bid bonds?
Walmart and China.
Well, but who invests in the Walmart and China on the bid bonds?
Sheriff.
The sheriff, all of the governor's chief of staff, all of them. They've already been busted for this. The news came out and said, you know, these are actually getting paid. The one guy's wife is the head lobbyist for, what is that, the name of the American prisoner?
CCC?
Yeah. The governor's #1 guy's wife is the head lobbyist for that. What do you think this is a friggin' accident? Guys,
So when do we ship the prisoners to China?
see, that's what I did that treatise on, and that scared people. Because China has the right to confiscate. What happens if they confiscate their prisoners? What's going to happen is you're going to hear the press going, oh, we're finally getting rid of all these scumbag prisoners. 60, 70% of them are innocent, never committed a crime in their life. They get shipped over to China.
We're left nothing but the, what would be the uncream of the crop?
Well,
The
what
scum of the
happens?
crop?
What happens if they ship them all to China? You think China wants those prisoners?
They're going to be executed.
Road labor.
No,
They'll
organ
give them a gun
harvest.
and send them back.
Organ harvest.
They're going to send them fucking back.
No, they're gonna organ
They're going to
harvest.
send them back. Why do you think they aren't confiscating our guns? They learned something in World War II. Why build a concentration camp when you just let everybody have guns? What if China confiscates all their property, all these prisoners, 6 million prisoners? How many people in here have used an AK-47 in combat? How many people have used one for fun? You have any problems with it, or you just pull the trigger and it just keeps going? You don't even have to clean the things.
You can hear the money flying right out of your wallet as every
Yeah.
keep going, but yeah.
Well, they get
Okay.
insurance policies on all of them, right?
Well, they do that too, but the point being, all they got to do is give them guns and send them back. You don't even know how to shoot. I've seen 10-year-old kids shoot AK-47s at people. You don't need to know what the hell you're doing. You get 6 million men, send them back with 6 million AK-47s and 500 rounds each. What are you going to do about that?
Take cover. China's gonna say, hey, guess what? You just
We
got
won.
screwed. Yeah. Take this gun, go back there and get even.
And you think they will?
Yes.
You think they will?
Once they
You
know
think
the
they'll
truth.
come home?
Yeah.
You think they'll be pissed off?
Well, that's what Nancy Pelosi said. We fear the returning troops.
She just didn't say which troops.
Yeah.
This is it, guy. You wanted the truth? I just gave it to you. Now go home and cry, because you'll be psycho for a week. I guarantee you that. I've seen it destroy people's life. The truth, just like one of my favorite people, Jack Nicholson. Here's Johnny. Okay? What'd he say? You can't handle the truth. Americans hate the truth. We hate it.
So why do you live here?
You can't really go anywhere.
You trade one farm for another. It's not going to be any different anywhere else.
It isn't a matter of why we live here. Where else? What do you think? It's any different much anywhere else? We're just the ones that are dumb enough to believe it isn't that way. See, you go to other countries, these people know it's that way. They look at us like idiots. The average American believes the World Trade Center was blown up by a bunch of Arabs.
Living in caves with a dialysis machine
Okay.
attached.
Like
But
that can't be
everybody in the
found.
rest of the world knows we blew them up.
That made the news just the other day because he was stating, why did you blow up your own towers?
Wow.
He said
That
that
wasn't
right
him,
there.
it was the guy from Iran.
It was the president. Yeah.
President of
Ahmadinejad.
Iran.
Why the hell are you blowing up your own towers?
Americans are the only people on the planet that believe somebody else blew up the World Trade Center. You can go to any other country in the world and they go, why did Americans blow up their own buildings?
Well, it's like if you take a shovel full of black ants and throw it onto a red ant hill and you create a huge scuffle there, you're going to get them all riled up. Neither of them had anything to do with that thing, but that red ant hill is sure going to fight and be patriotic and get rid of those black ants.
I have a feeling you've done this. All right.
It's really noisy. You can hear it.
We've gotten way off track, but I hope you guys learned something about how all this math thing works. This is important. Sit down on your own and do this. And then try and figure out how, if the average half-life of all the radioactivity on the planet is 5.6 thousand years, and that means basically 6,000 years ago the Earth was twice as radioactive, and 12,000 years ago the Earth was 4 times, and 18,000 years ago it was 8 times as radioactive. The planet dies at 3 times the radioactive content, and at 100,000 years the Earth would have been hotter than the Sun. Exactly how old is the Earth?
5,000 years.
About
About
6,004. Math, that's what math says. You can believe politicians, you can believe psycho shrinks, or you can believe math. I choose math because I don't like anything.
So the fractionalization theory, or the way that the fractionalization works, is the same way as what you're doing the math there. Therefore, eventually it implodes and blows up after, what they say, 30 to 40 years.
Well, you got to understand that the concept of all this leads to taxes. When you take it all the way down, when you take it all the way down, and you keep on taking that 10%, 90%, and you take it all the way down, it leads to taxes. And it has to be recouped through taxes. What is taxes? It's the theft of your labor. That's all it is. And when you own somebody to the point where they get nothing from their labor, or you get everything from their labor, what is that person?
The
A
master.
slave.
Master
And you're
and
their
slave.
master. So all of this gets paid back through taxes, which is just the confiscation of your labor. So you are owed to them. That's why I say